Thank you, Your Excellency, Ambassador Bisogniero, distinguished members of the award committee, friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thrilled to be named the winner of this year's Urbino Press Award. It is a proud moment in my career. It's a remarkable honor to join such names as Helene Cooper, David Ignatius, and Thomas Friedman. It means a great deal to me that this award comes from a city that represents the rich cultural tradition of Italy, which has had a great impact on my life and work and outlook. I want to thank Mr. Giovanni Lanni, President of the Urbino Press Award, and the representatives of Urbino and the region Le Marche. And I want to thank the ambassador and his staff for their hospitality and graciousness. As you all know, the Italian embassy throws the best parties in town. In a novel by the great Sicilian writer Leonardo Sciascia, a brave and weary prosecutor has a memorable line. He says, "La sicurezza del potere si fonda sull'insicurezza dei cittadini." The security of power is founded on the insecurity of the citizens. Now, I think that's a pretty good analysis of the way the world really works, and it's a premise for the mission of journalism and of ProPublica. This award is a tribute to ProPublica, where I've been lucky enough to work for the past several years. It's a nonprofit newsroom dedicated to investigative journalism in the public interest. ProPublica challenges the security of power. It exposes the abuse of power. My talented colleagues have not only won awards and accolades, they've become a force for justice and for the future of journalism. My investigative project, which is recognized tonight on the Mumbai case, was possible thanks to the commitment of ProPublica to in-depth reporting. The ebook, which you heard about, was a joint venture with Amazon Kindle and launched an experiment in long-form narrative journalism. I want to thank the leaders of ProPublica, Paul Steiger, and Steve Engelberg, and Tom Detzel, senior editor, who's here tonight, for their wisdom, guidance, and friendship. And thanks also to the Washington Post, which published many of our articles and has given space and prominence to our ongoing coverage of the Mumbai case. The documentary, A Perfect Terrorist, that you heard about was a collaboration with Frontline. My thanks to Frontline, particularly to the producer, Tom Jennings, who did a remarkable job of telling a difficult story very powerfully on screen. I'm also gratified that my novel was recognized. It's my first novel. It gave me a chance to combine the experience of the journalist and the authority of the novelist. And it's been recently published in France. My wife, Carmen, is translating it into Spanish, which is a labor of love and not an easy one. And I hope that one day Italians will be able to read it in the language of Baldassare Castiglione and Federico de Montefeltro. As you heard, and in case it's not manifestly obvious, Italy has had a great impact on me. The language, the food, the art, music, history. As a foreign correspondent in particular, I've gotten to know Italian prosecutors, Italian investigators, diplomats, and journalists. I've learned a great deal from them. I've learned from their skill and courage, their loyalty and humor. Of all the countries where I've reported, Italy is where I felt the most welcome. And of course, tonight is also special because I'm of Italian descent. You heard the story of my father. He came to America in 1950. His father was a carpenter, his mother a seamstress. He went to the University of Chicago, got his PhD, and served as the chancellor of community college systems in Chicago and California. And the secret of his success was that he met my mother, Pilar, who's from Barcelona, Spain. He's from Barcelona, Pozzovigoto, Italy. So that's a little confusing sometimes. And I assume that has something to do with maybe his opening line when they met. She also got her doctorate from the University of Chicago and had a distinguished academic career. In my house, the American dream is not a cliche. When I was a kid, every summer, my family would travel to Europe for a pilgrimage. It would start in Barcelona, Spain. We would drive, my parents with 3 small boys and back, over the Pyrenees, across France, all the way down the Italian boot, take the ferry to Sicily, eat an arancino, which is a Sicilian delicacy, on the ferry, and arrive finally in Barcelona, Pozzovigoto. As you can imagine, I saw a lot of Italy during those trips and since then, but somehow I never got to Urbino. as much as I heard about its glories. I'm so glad I will finally discover this renowned bastion of art, culture, and education as part of this illustrious journalistic tradition. I want to thank my parents. I try every day to live up to that legacy of excellence and hard work. My mother-in-law, Carmen, who's visiting us from Spain. Most of all, I want to thank my wife, Carmen, and my daughter, Valeria, for their patience and humor and love, and for making me happy and proud. Finally, let me just say this to our visitors from Urbino. Signore e signori, questo premio, fra tutti gli onori che ho avuto, questo è un premio molto speciale, molto importante, anzi unico per me e per la mia famiglia. Tante grazie e ci vediamo a Urbino. Thank you.